I will be in the Westwood One studios once again for Monday Night Football between the Bucs and the New York Football Giants to wrap up week number 11. And joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is one of my favorite humans on the planet. In advance of this game, we appreciate him coming to the phone in preparation. Heading into week number 11, the champion, world champion head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bruce Arians, back here on the show. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great, Rich. How you doing, buddy?
I'm better for talking to you. Appreciate the call. Certainly mid-season. Certainly mid-season. So, what would you say? How would you term the current state of your team right now? As you know, the NFL media folks are, we're all jibber jabbering about what the Bucs are and who they are, as I'm sure you might know or not.
I mean, we know who we are. We're in a good spot. We did not play very well our last outing, and you turn the ball over, have penalties on the road, you're going to get beat. So we think we've identified it, and we're really anxious to get playing Monday night.
What have you? How do you identify that sort of stuff? What's your process in doing that?
Yeah, it's so easy. When you look at the 3 games that we lost, they're all on the road, major penalties in critical areas, and we lost a turnover battle, huge in both of them, and. It's corrected, you got to protect the ball better, and we need more takeaways. When we get our hands on interceptions, we've got to catch them, and we dropped a couple in that last game and in the one before that. So, just making plays, that's all it is. But there's no panic. We feel very, very confident about ourselves, and looking forward to the final 8.
Okay, and so when you say what you say after a post game, in a post game press conference, Coach, I know you are known for not sugarcoating anything, calling your team, quote unquote, a very dumb football team. Do you, when those words leave your mouth, do you want to grab them back, or you're like, no, this is what I'm just telling what that is?
No, I mean, just telling the truth, and we played dumb football. When we identify something and don't correct it, that's dumb, and so hopefully we've got it corrected, and because we had a great week of practice. I mean, you can't practice any better. So it's playing smarter, faster football on Sundays.
Okay.
Mondays.
Right, and then yes, that's right. You got this Monday nighter coming up against the Giants. And Tom Brady, he did not address much about his 2 interceptions after the game with the media. You said it was on him. It wasn't the receivers. It was on him. How do your conversations go after you say something like that publicly? Bruce.
Really, it was only one, because the other one I still consider a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen caught his perfect pass. Jalen caught it and then lost it, and it threw up in the air, so it goes as interception. But no, it was a situation, just a high ball, and to me, I'm not criticizing him, but I'm just answering the question.
Sure, absolutely, and I know we've been over this coverage about your relationship with Tom and things like that, and how well he has been performing in your system as you're taking on the New York Giants here. So I just figured I'd throw that one out there. And before we move on to the game, Coach Bruce Arians here on the Rich Eisen Show, I'd love to give you the floor on your reaction to the Tampa Bay Times story that Antonio Brown's vaccination card may be fake. What's your reaction to that?
Really, to me, there is no story. He says he's vaccinated and has a card just like everybody else on our football team, and there's a trust factor that goes along with it, and we did our due diligence. Everybody at the league will look into the matter and do their due diligence, but it's really no story.
So have you called him into your office and asked him again, just point blank to his face, if he is in fact fully vaccinated as his card says, Coach?
No, but somebody else did, and so I have asked him. I mean, when a guy gives me his card, I mean, I'm good with it. So I don't know how this story got going other than somebody wanted some money.
Bruce Arians here on the Rich Eisen Show. What is the challenge taking on a Giants team coming off of a bye? Obviously, you've faced them last year. You know how they've played you tough. Daniel Jones' first career start, I'm sure, still sticks in your craw in your building. What is that challenge for you to take on the Giants this week?
It's huge. It looks like they're going to be extremely healthy. Getting all their weapons back, and boy, they got some weapons now. Between Tony and Galladay, and they're getting a lot out of John Ross. And if Saquon's back, it's a whole different offense when Saquon's back. And you have to be ready for Daniel Jones to pull it and run it all the time. So it's a big. When they get all their players back, and I look at that game. They went down to New Orleans and beat New Orleans, and that's not an easy job. And so defensively, they're playing lights out. So it's going to be a heck of a challenge. I think they're one of the better teams in the East.
And so you mentioned how it's a good week of practice for you. How often does that actually translate for you, Coach? Good week. You know what I mean?
Rich, I would have lost my paycheck so many times saying, "Well, no way we're going to lose." I mean, that Washington week, we had the best week of practice ever coming off the open date after New Orleans lost.
Right.
And laid an egg. So there are times where, like, Fridays, I just threw them off the field before, and we went and played great. So it helps the coach's brain, to relax there at night and then maybe have a cocktail. We had a hell of a practice. We're going to play good.
Right, and so it's just something that is just anybody's guess sometimes as to how somebody will show up on a Monday night, right? And so how does one address something like that? I mean, you've been there and done that, Bruce.
Yeah,
what do you do?
You want to have a consistent level of practice, and we've had. I never could ask our guys to work harder. They work hard, and it's just a matter of when a game is scheduled, be on top of your game and make the plays that you can make, and don't be the guy that screws it up.
Bruce Arians here on the Rich Eisen Show. Your colleague in New Orleans, Sean Payton, went on my colleague Dan Patrick's show and said that he thinks that the taunting emphasis is being over-officiated right now. What is your thought on that subject matter, Coach Bruce Arians?
Yeah, I think it's something that we have to get used to. They're not going to change it, and so you better get used to it. And like when they lowered the targeting of tackling, players had to get used to it. There were a lot of fouls. It's the same old thing. Cheer with your teammates, celebrate with your teammates, go look in a camera or something, but you can't look at the other guy and talk. So it's just something you have to get ready for.
Right. I know you can't look at the other guy and talk, but somebody was flagged for staring at the other person's sideline, and the official might not even have known. He could have been just looking at someone in the crowd. It just seems to me, as you say, not changing it. Would you want it changed? I mean, I understand that there's many things
I would love to have it changed, but I think it's all about sportsmanship, and we're all for sportsmanship.
Of course.
But again, when you throw it into the hands of the official as a judgment call, there's how many different referees? They all have different judgment.
Right. No doubt about that. I just find it, again, just something where we're now asking the players, in a highly emotional game, just like, hey, when you're doing something, obviously you need to dial it back to play within your own emotion where you're not standing over somebody or getting in somebody else's grill. But to sit here and have to worry about so much in your job and these other players' jobs to just go in that direction, it just seems to me a waste of time, to be very honest with you, Coach.
I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you, Rich.
So I'm preaching. You're the choir, and I'm preaching right now.
Yes,
that's basically what you're saying.
Yes, indeed, brother.
Okay, very good. So, all right. So where are you now in comparison to last year? We all remember Thanksgiving weekend is when, right?
Light years ahead. And for us, we just got to get healthy and stay healthy. We'll probably start our 9th or 10th different secondary in this game. So it's just a matter of getting healthy, and hopefully we'll have 2 or 3 guys back. We don't know for sure yet, but the arrows are trending up, and maybe get some more back next week.
So who can, if you don't mind, do you think we see Gronk Monday? What about him on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I think he had a big workload today, so we'll see how he is tomorrow. But his arrow's trending up. Sean Murphy-Bunting is trending up a little bit, and Scotty Miller would be just a game time thing as far as his availability, and then Carlton Davis is starting to make a nice move. We haven't activated him yet, but he's starting to look better.
Okay.
And Antonio Brown's starting to look better, but not for this week.
So you don't think AB goes this week at all on the football field?
Unless he really surprises me in the next couple of days.
Okay. And then just last one again. So you're that Tampa Bay Times report. You're just letting the football, the NFL deal with that. You think that this card is what's been handed to you? Is that, I'm just wondering what would be the punishment for something if it was the other way around, Bruce? I mean,
I have no idea. That would be something from the league, I'm sure, but it's a criminal offense. So if there's any crime being made, but
right.
It's the first one I've heard of it, Rich, so I really have no clue.
Okay. Bruce Arians, well, again, you're somebody who's obviously a survivor. You've gotten through a lot of your own health scares, and I just want to make sure that everyone around you is safe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tom Moore's in his 80s. And again, I'm not saying that what he did is anything that's wrong. I'm just genuinely concerned that, for your well-being is one of the reasons why I bring it up,
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. And we talk a lot about that out there with the guys. And we're fortunate. We have such a great facility. We're hardly ever inside.
Bruce Arians, really appreciate your time. Thanks for doing it right in the middle of the season, right in the middle of getting ready for a weekend. I don't take that for granted, ever. Greatly appreciate it.
Only for you, brother.
I really appreciate that. I send my best to you and your family as you get going on for Week 11. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, brother.
That's Bruce Arians, everybody. That's Bruce Arians right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.